So this brings me on to a whole big question about cynicism, openness. So there's several things going on in my head when you're talking. One is, well, this is all woo-woo. Um, how can you there's certain buzzwords that kind of sets off a woo alarm. There's energy, vibration. You've ticked a few of them. And how can you do all of this stuff when you're on Zoom or whatever? But then I was also thinking about when you talked about the guitar and the frequency and that bit. I was thinking, well, there's the whole mirror neuron thing, isn't there? That our our brains mirror each other, and I was like, maybe there is something in there. And then there's part of me that's just thinking, well, if you're if I was your client and I allowed myself to be receptive and go with it, even if it's the placebo effect, it would work. But because my head's going, well, that doesn't sound very scientific, I really struggle to then be receptive for it to actually work. So I think there is a question in there somewhere. The question I think is, how is cynicism got any value, and how can you be more wholehearted?
Well, actually, I felt the same when I first heard about it. I
Uh,
was in training to do body work, really hands-on. This is years ago. I trained with someone I really trust, Bianca Telle. She's here in Germany, and I was trained to do holistic pulsing. And this is really on the body. You touch the body really gentle and bring it into a vibration. And this, well, it also moves energy, but you can also express it or explain it by, yeah, there is this vibration and it's so gentle, and then the muscles open up and the blood flow is better. So this is more um, mm, maybe easier to understand. And then she brought something up and said, I heard about quantum touch. I read that book, and they heal with the hands. Like this is the sort of slogan. And of course, like healing is a difficult word sometimes, because it's so we don't heal, we don't treat, but we um, allow the body to empower the self-healing. And she talked about that. And she said, I was like, what's she talking about? This is so weird. No, no, no. And then she said, there is a workshop. I will go there. And then she came back from that workshop and said it was amazing. And there is an online class and I will do that. And I thought, I will do that too. This is so interesting. I need to check this. So I was really critical and skeptical. And then I joined that workshop, and it was amazing. It was really amazing what's happening. And I'm skeptic, but I'm also open and curious and want to explore. And I think, okay, I can check it for myself, and either it works or not. And it was really amazing what opened up. And I often do demonstrations in groups, and I say, okay, I offer you the energy, and you can try if you feel something. And sometimes I'm blown away what people experience.
this is the thing. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a wow moment. I've spoken to many people, and I've had a couple of little wow moments. I've gone, and then I have to be careful not to try and rationalize it in my head to kind of go, oh, that didn't really happen. I was just making that up. But yeah, I would love to have that kind of experience of something going, oh, this is real.
Yeah. Um, you know, I think I often hear it from my clients. They are all looking for the wow moment. I want my pain to be gone. I want an illness to be gone. And sometimes it happens and it's quick, like you have some pain and it's gone. And sometimes it's really subtle. And with quantum touch, it's also And I think with all kind of energy work, um, for me, it's a lot about trust and trusting the process. And we have this saying that we often like the um, I have to find the words. Give me a second. Um, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Like we want so much proof. And um, often with this energy work, it's like when you try too hard, then you're often blocking. So I realize when I like when I have a client and I feel like I have to help this person, it has to work. It's often more difficult and than to just okay, let's give it a try. Um, so I think really this Western approach, what I feel like is a Western approach, like I need to see something. It's often like blocking the energy. But when you have a really bad day and maybe you have a bit of a headache and you feel tired and oh, it's like, oh, everything is bad. And then a friend calls you and you have a nice conversation and this friend says, "Oh, what about a cup of coffee? Let's meet." And then suddenly you no longer feel tired and your headache is gone and you're in a good mood. And why? What happened? The chemistry in your body hasn't changed, but your thoughts have changed and your yeah, your emotions have changed. And I think this is what we can do with this kind of energy work. And talking about the placebo, maybe it's also that there is a person really focusing on you. And when I have a
Yes.
session, I'm looking at you. Sometimes I have my eyes closed, but um, I talk with my clients and I tell them, I focus on, and now I will offer you the energy. And with quantum touch, to make that clear, there's nothing I'm sending you or I'm taking away from you. It's just a vibration. And sometimes I feel maybe it's like in a concert, when the music's playing and when there is a live concert, there are all these vibes of the instruments and of the singers, and you are part or you are in this bubble of vibration. And this is, I feel like I'm a singer, so I think this is familiar. And when I listen to a concert, I'm sitting in that and I say, wow, my gosh, what's happening? And you open up and you go with the flow of the music. And with quantum touch, it's often similar, I feel. Like I offer you a vibration and you can go with it or not, and you go in resonance. So there's nothing you receive from me or you have my energy or I take something away from you, but it's really I offer this and you can tune into that, and then something happens inside of you. And when you listen to music, sometimes it's so touching and you cry. What's happening? You open up and something is happening inside of you.
So it sounds like for it to work, you need to not be so closed off that you're like, well, it's just not going to work, is it? You can't, almost like you don't want to, don't try too hard and don't try not hard enough. If that makes sense, it's almost like being receptive without
Yeah.
blocking it in either direction. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
So I have clients that, of course, when you're a client, then you are open, and some are just desperate because nothing is helping. So okay, let's try this, like as a last. Um, and when people don't want, then of course they can block the energy.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't want to force them into something. I can offer you. And this is And I love the gentleness. And also with the other work that I do, it's an invitation. And if you don't want to, that's okay. And sometimes actually it takes time. And you know, we often want to end something. We want to end a pain. We want to have it gone. And but um, some things take time, and this is part of the process, and this is part of the healing journey um, to discover what's inside of you and to discover I don't want or um, you know, when you have some pain, and sometimes actually I think there is some learning in pain. You know, when you have a lot of back pain, what is your body trying to tell you? For me, like the body is, when you look at it as a best friend, it tries to tell you something. And also an illness tries to tell you something, tries to teach you. And I had a lot of back pain years ago, and it became better over time. And when I look back, like I didn't care well for myself, and my body told me, you need to move more, you need to rest more. I had put a lot of pressure on myself regarding work. I have to do that. I have to meet expectations around people. And I was putting a lot of pressure on myself. And my body told me by creating that back pain.
So is it is the work that you do primarily around healing physical pain and illness, or is there also healing from emotional challenges?
Actually, all kinds. I don't know if I'm annoying you, but I really have to be clear about that healing because in Germany we have laws about this. So I don't heal, I don't treat, I don't diagnose. What I do is create a space,
Yeah.
creating a space, and then all kinds of things can happen. And I have lots of clients who come because they have some physical symptoms. They have back pain, and then and we also talk a lot about this. And when I tune into the body and when I offer the energy, I'm guided, and sometimes I have inner pictures,
Ooh.
and I say, okay, like I focus on your hip and or I focus on your, and now it's guiding me to send or like to offer the energy at your shoulders, and like, is there a lot of tension? And then they say yes, and where does it come from? And then they tell me, yeah, there's a difficult situation at work, or I'm going through a divorce, or, and sometimes I see picture. Actually, I had one client, this was so uh what is it, weird, is it interesting? um, I worked on her, and then I saw a white pony. And I what, you know, I see, is there is something with a white pony? And it said, yes, I fell on my shoulder. She was a rider. So, and then we went through all her riding accidents, and there was another horse. And then she said, yeah, and I fell from that horse. Oh, and I got kicked by this one. So, it's actually sometimes when someone is really open, you get these pictures, and then you know what's stored in the body. You see that. And also with emotional things, when someone says, I feel burned out, or I feel overwhelmed, or always so sad, and we work on that. So
And
it
how
really
does it?
works on, well, it changes the energy. And for me, really, like, first, there is the energy, like the emotion, or you have thoughts about yourself. You know, what do you think about yourself? Do you think, wow, I'm amazing. I'm a great human being. I'm so lovable, and I deserve to live I deserve to blossom. I deserve to live in abundance. Or do you feel, oh, I'm not good enough, and oh, I should be different, and I'm so ugly, and I'm too fat, and I'm too, you know, what do you think about yourself? And um there is another idea, like we're most of our part of our body is out of water. There's so much water in our body. And there is this Japanese, I think Masaru Emoto, he made photographs of crystals. You know that.
Yeah,
And
I think it's fascinating.
yeah. And you talk to water and say love, or you say hate or war, and it makes a difference. The crystals look different. And what difference does it make to your body? When you say, I'm stupid, silly me,
Mm.
this um this has an impact on your body. And when you do it long enough, it has an impact on your health. And in our Western society, I hear it so often. Oh, when you're 30, everything is going down the hill. And oh, wait till you're 50, wait till you're 70. And then, oh my gosh, and I want to become so old because like everything is going down the hill. And when I look around, there's so many people, they can barely move when they're 70. They have so many health issues. And there are other people who, a neighbor, she walks every day with the dog. She must be in her 90s, and still she's just going with her dog. And I think this is really important what we think.
Yeah.
And um, and with quantum touch, we open that up and we create a space where, like for half an hour in a session or for 1 hour, you're not focusing on, this is wrong with my body. And I so often hear that, oh, my bloody knee, and this is painful. But your knee is just telling you that you need to be more gentle with you. And then we open up in that session, and we open up the, oh, actually, maybe it's a good idea to be more kind, to be more relaxed, to care better for myself. And this is what opens up. And then when you care differently for you, when you put different food into your body, when you think differently, when you move more, maybe you even dance, then when you allow yourself to have fun, then things happen.
Yeah.
I think this is the most creating a space for change.